Hey everyone, today's just a quick video on the Z690 Aorus Master and the Z690 Maximus Hero. I haven't really had time to get these boards set up because I got some real life things I'm working on, but I wanted to make this video just to show these two boards since traditionally these two boards are kind of that similar $400 price range. I understand this is not $400 right now, and neither is this. But let's just get into what you get in each box, and then I'll give you a quick comparison, and then we'll go from there. So let's start with the Hero. Okay. So standard ROG box. All right. So inside you get your. I've opened both of these, so I know what's inside. But figure I'd go through it here. So if you're a new buyer, you get the board itself. Okay. Let's take a look. This is not a light. This is kind of like a pixelated, shiny acrylic dot kind of deal. So it doesn't light up. You get your standard Asus Maximus along the side. The 6-pin being new, I believe. I don't remember if it was on the Z590. I have to check. But this essentially gives additional power, replaces what used to be a Molex at the bottom. Okay. And one USB-C, two USB 3s, regular fan ports, two USB 2s for AIOs, and you get three RGBs at the bottom, two DRGB, one regular RGB, and you get one DRGB at the top. Now, none of this is anything new, it's standard affair. Okay, so let's look at the back. You get one HDMI, two Thunderbolts, and yeah, someone on the other video brought up the fact that on the X570 Extreme, I never brought up the fact that there were Thunderbolts on the back. And I understand why some people like Thunderbolt, right? But I don't think most people I'm not going to say most, but I think most people who buy into the PC platform aren't really using Thunderbolt devices as much as folks on the Mac side, right? So I don't think anybody buying a Hero, not anybody, I think most people buying a Hero are not going to be using Thunderbolt devices. So while it's great they put them on there and it increases costs a little bit, I don't think it's popular enough with the target audience for it to be included at a price premium, right? For example, like this is a 2.5 gigabyte LAN. They would be better off giving you a 10 gigabyte LAN and giving you regular USB 3. USB C. That's my opinion, and I think that holds true for most folks. So you get your USB ports and Wi-Fi 6E, and that pretty much wraps up for the back. Now, let's just go over the board real quick. I believe this is a 20 plus 1. I have to check in terms of the phase count. The heatsink is pretty beefy. This top portion looks kind of like the X299 Prime one from a while ago, and the X299 Prime 40 edition or Prime 30 edition, something like that. And the VRM layout kind of looks like one of the older Extremes they used to have, but recycled. I don't know if that will focus. Is it gonna focus or not? Yeah, it kind of looks recycled layout. Okay, wouldn't surprise me if it was. But this part, this is plastic. Okay, I have to open it to see if there's an M.2 slot underneath. Actually, you know what? It looks like there is, but this feels like plastic, and I don't think this should be plastic. You get your regular M.2 heatsink over here, and yeah, there's another M.2 slot here. So there's one here, and there's one here, and there may be another one down here. In which case, this really should not be this plasticky thingy. It feels like plastic. Okay, so that pretty much wraps it up. No backplate, which is I'm gonna get to that. I will get to that. So now let's check the rest of the box contents. Okay. So let's see what else you get in the box. Let me adjust my focus here, guys. Okay, I think that should be okay. This time you get USB drivers as last form, but new USB drive. Okay. You get an M.2 card. This is actually aluminum, from what I can tell, and it supports 2 M.2 slots. Okay, you can see them here. One of these is Gen 5, and the other one will not run Gen 5 because the way it's split, if I recall from the manual, had a brief glimpse. One of them runs a Gen 5, the other one does not. And depending on how you slot it, they may both be Gen 4. I'm not really too sure. I have to look at it, like I said. But you know, I guess you guys don't know. Here, give me 1 second. I'll bring it out. Okay, so for you guys that don't know, this is the Gen 4 Asus hyper card, which supports 4 NVMe's. Okay, so this is kind of the same concept. It's just a lot smaller because it only supports 2. Now, with that said, I'm going to think, you know, they tried this with the B5. I think the B550 Strix is when they first started bundling these cards, and I don't. I mean, I guess it's good if you want to add on, but you know, to be honest, at the hero level, this kind of seems unnecessary. They have one with the Formula 2 now, but it's silver instead of black. In reality, it's just not anodized, where the black one is. I mean, why the hero one is. Okay, so let's see what else you get in the box. You get your, all right, you get your regular ROG sticker sheet. It's folded now instead of laying flat. You get a book. You get a welcome card. You're so awesome. And let's see what else you get. You get antenna, RGB cable extension, keychain. Yeah, the front panel connector. What looks to be 2 9-degree angle SATAs and a GPU bracket. This used to come with the extremes. Now they come with this. It kind of just like pops open like that and helps you support your GPUs. It's a good touch considering it's part of the package. All right. So with this done, let's cut over to the Aorus Master. So here's the Master. Obviously, packaging is not as nice. Then again, it's not the Extreme. They don't tend to give you awesome packaging unless you buy the Extreme or Water Force, which is essentially the Extreme. Oh, upside down. Sorry about that. Right away, you can see that there's an anti-static bag. I removed it, so don't act like it shipped like this, okay? It did not. You get the board. As far as I'm aware, there is no RGB here, okay? The board does not light up. I plugged it in, nothing happened. It does power on, and I couldn't, you know, it looks like there should be something here, but there's nothing here, okay? Other than that, let me just adjust my focus here. Okay. So you get your 6 SATA, you get USB-C, one just like on the Hero, and you get 2 USB 3s just like on the Hero. Now, of course, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen because everybody knows USB 3s are fairly thick. So if I have 2 of them over, I'm going to have a curve this large to bring over the wire. I don't understand board manufacturers that do this kind of dumb stuff. Like, this should be put one down here, right? Makes sense. One from the front panel, the other one you can run through the bottom of the case. This is just stupid. Anyway, moving on. 1 DRGB, 1 regular RGB. I like how they have all the fan headers on top. There's 4 up here, 1 on the bottom. Actually, no, 7 on the bottom, 3 on the bottom. So you got a lot of fan headers. You got 2 USB as well. That's nice. Let's see. You get 1 DRGB here and 1 regular RGB here. I see they got rid of that 5-pin funniness. Maybe they did that earlier and I never noticed. But it's a nice touch that they got rid of that. So moving on to the back, you get Wi-Fi 6E, just like the Hero. You get the USBs, and you get DP instead of HDMI, and 2 regular USB-Cs, and you get a 10 gigabyte LAN. See, this is what I'm talking about. This makes a lot more sense than that. For the community you're trying to reach, this makes a whole lot more sense. All right, so let's go into the VRM phase. I'm gonna go over this after this part. I think this is 19+1 off the top of my head. If I don't remember correct. It has 105 amp power stages. So technically, it's very similar to the Hero. Or might be a little bit better. I have to look into it. Okay, I admit I have not looked into it completely, but I can tell you right now, this heatsink here, and let's see if I can get this focus here. All right, so the heatsink here, you can see it's a lot more beefy by quite a bit. I'm not talking a little bit. I'm like, it's a lot. There's a lot more to this board in terms of heft. I can tell you right now. So then you get the back plate. Okay. So look at this M.2 heatsink. I like that. It's Gen 5. It's gonna run hot. Get a nice big one. And I think there's one here and then 4 underneath here. I'll pop it open and I'll take a look. But you know what? I'm gonna try something here. Okay. I got a feeling. Yeah, this is a big difference in weight. Let me finish what's in the box, and we'll go into the rest. Okay. In the box, Go Fast stickers, Go Fast badge, manual. Why is this so thin? No. I guess they don't cover the BIOS. It's okay. The BIOS sucks anyways. That's the biggest problem with Aorus boards is the BIOS is so trash that, you know, I don't even know what to say. So I'm hoping this one has good proper voltage control, because that hasn't happened across many of my Aorus boards. So, you know, but I don't think it's not a game breaker for a lot of people, but you know, I mean, for me, it's kind of annoying when I set adaptive voltage and it never works. What is that? This looks like a sensor for if your case door is open. Okay. You get a Wi-Fi antenna, M.2 drive, screws. You know, I think Asus boards now have a kind of a clip-on mechanism that you switch on, so you don't use these little screws anymore. I don't see why most people don't do that. Front panel. And on this side, we get, what is that? Is that 5-pin garbage? No. Okay. You get a RGB extension, SATA cable, 90 degree, 290 degrees, one more 90 degree, no, 190 and one regular, and then 190 and one regular, and 2 temperature probes. So not bad. It's what you need. Nothing more, nothing less. So I'm put the sheets back on. Okay, so back to what I was saying earlier. Let me get rid of this box. Okay, so let me bring out this trusty little scale here. All right, I don't know how well this is gonna work on camera, and I don't even know if it's straight. Okay, so this, let me see if this is okay. So not to be super scientific, but let's do this. So balanced on there, I read 2,400 grams, pretty much. Okay. Now let's try the Hero, which this is, you know, I mean, it's hard to kind of convey what they feel like in hand, but I hope this gives you an idea. All right. Because I can tell you right now, the build on the Aorus feels a lot better. Okay. So if I can balance the board, 1,775 grams. So this is what I mean by heft in hand. Okay. So this brings me to a point. PCB layers don't weigh that much. Componentry don't weigh that much. Neither do fan headers. So all this bulk, this additional 700 plus grams, all right, is all heatsink. Like this right here is not that. Okay, see, this is metal. This is metal. This I don't feel that plastic I feel on this side, on the Hero here. Okay, the plastic isn't there. And if I come across the back, I get a back plate. See, this is the stuff that should be on here. Okay, this gets me to the point where I want to bring up here. Oh, they're both 8 pins, by the way. Okay. Asus has been seriously jacking up all of its prices since earlier this year. Everybody wants to blame global supply chain, and I totally get that. I understand prices have to go up, but let's be honest. This is made in Taiwan, Asia. This is made in Taiwan, Asia. Okay? VRMs, let's just say they use Infineon or whatever. Let's just say they're different. That cost is not $150. This is about $450 on average. This is $600 on average. Okay, that's not $150 difference right there. Okay, there's no reason why this board is $600. That add-on card is just trash to put on this board to pad the price. That's 100%. I made a video earlier this year where I complained about the Hero, Dark Hero being $450 and the board not worth $450. This is atrocious, Asus. This is atrocious. If you look at GPU pricing, I'm just gonna take that as an example. The 3080 Ti Strix, last time I checked, was $2,000. And then it got a price bump to $2,100. The 3080 Ti for the Win 3 Ultra, granted, that's not as nice PCB wise. I get that. That is $1,400. Okay, the FE is $1,200. But we're not counting those. We're just talking about AIBs. Why the hell is there a $700 difference? There's no reason for that. The only reason Asus is doing this is because you guys will pay it. So the Extreme this generation is $1,100, guys. $1,100 for a mainstream Extreme board. The Extreme Aorus is $900. Right? I mean, when you take the packaging and all the bonuses you get in both, you're not getting more on the Asus. Okay, BIOS aside, you're not getting more on the Asus end than you are on the Aorus end. In terms of power delivery, features, etc., you're not getting more, but you're paying a lot more. And that's a big problem. This board shouldn't be more than $400. And that, I mean, granted, I understand it has a beefed up VRM and all that. Let's just say, it's been creeping up for a while now. So let's just say $450, like the Dark Hero. And maybe stretch it beyond my imagination, $500. $600 is ridiculous. Okay. Now, I'm going to why did I close this? I'm going to plug this in so you can see the little ROG thingy. And then I'll show you the M.2 slots. And we'll talk about that. So let me pause this for a second. It says Hero, and then it says ROG. Oh, there you go. You can kind of see it. It's not very bright at all. So depending on the angle and how bright it is in your room, inside your case. Inside your case is a different story, but you're not going to be able to see it that easily. Which is a little disappointing. But I understand why it's like that, because they have a two-way mirror on it, and any LED behind a two-way mirror is going to be dimmed out, and that's, as a result, is why it looks like that. And that's all the RGB I can see on this board. So no, it is what it is. And I said the Aorus Master doesn't light up, period. So I'm gonna test that again. But let me see here. All right, so let's plug that in, and let's see if it actually does anything. Okay, just as I originally expected, absolutely nothing, except for red lights. So, yeah, no RGB here, which, it's not bad. You guys, some of you guys, blackout builds are nice, and it'd be nice if they made a comeback. Okay, guys, I got the covers off, and you can see what's underneath here. There is no M.2 slot under here. I kind of suspected that once I felt all the plastic. You got two down here. They are covered by this bar. This bar is something Asus has done in the last Extreme, last Corsair, Extreme, etc. It's not a very thick bar, but it's better than nothing. They've done this under the formula too. I think the Z690 formula was the first one where they had a long bar that covered two M2s. And this is the heatsink for the top one, okay? And as I was speaking of before, they've switched to this, let me get this in focus here. Sorry, guys. Yeah. They switched to this plastic tab to clip the M2 in. It's a nice move, but I mean, gotta be careful with the clips, okay? Okay, you can see the clips. They just kind of clip instead of using a screw. Good touch, but it is what. Oh yeah, this button. You see, it pops the. This is something new. It pops the PCIe, top PCIe. In the event, you got a big GPU in there and it's stuck, and you can't get it out. you can't get to the tab, you can just press it and it pops. That's a very nice touch, and I wish that I'm sure other manufacturers start doing something like this soon. But um, in my experience, even if you get the tab out, it doesn't mean the GPU is coming out, or the tab comes like halfway and the GPU is still stuck. So the actual easiest way to do that is if you have it, let's say you're pulling the GPU out and it's stuck and it's not coming out, what you need to do is push it back in, lean it towards, like kind of pull out towards this side of the board. Okay. So get the front of the card out a little bit. Then if you pop the tab, the card will come out. So before I get to the Aorus, I just want to show you one more thing here, right? This is the heatsink for the top M.2 slot on this Hero here. Now, this is the one on the Aorus. This is where that heft and all that comes from. Come on, man. Seriously? I mean, on the X570 Extreme, we got a nice big thick one like this. At least give me half, right? Don't give me this. You know what I mean? This is just kind of just cost cutting garbage. Anyway, so that's $600 too. Yeah, as you can probably tell, I'm pretty annoyed. But here's the M.2 heatsink for this, and there's a whole crap ton going on down here. All right, so if I remember correctly, you have Gen 5, 2 Gen 4, 2 Gen 3. You might think, wow, Gen 3, that sucks. But hey, it's all on board. You got 5 slots on a mainstream board that is $400, guys. $450, $470. 5 M.2 slots on a mainstream board. I cannot tell you how good the layout is on this at the price point. It is so good. You used to have to buy like a godlike Maximus Hero to get 3 and then 2 on the dim. Not the Hero, I mean the Extreme. You get 3 here, and then you get 2 on the dim, .2. You get 5. You're literally getting 5 on the board by itself. This is amazing, guys. How smart this is of a layout. Granted, this heatsink here is gonna be working way overtime. I mean, they're not gonna get that hot, but you know, it's working. It's gonna be working overtime. But this is a brilliant layout. This standard Asus affair, but you can see how even with the M.2 card, you get 2 plus 3, you get 5. Okay, and only 2 of them at most would be Gen 5. The rest Gen 4, I believe. Okay, I have to double check. I believe the rest will be all Gen 4. Here, you may not get, you know, complete Gen 4 and only one Gen 5. But you guys have to remember, Gen 5 drives aren't out yet, and Gen 4 drives are still extremely expensive compared to, not extremely, but they're more than Gen 3. And for most of us, you know, unless you're doing some very heavy disk workloads, Gen 3, Gen 4 NVMe is not going to make a difference for you at all. For gaming, regular storage, you know, when you have already like 2 gigabytes read write, 4 gigabyte read write is not going to make a big deal for you. Okay, even for I don't even know why the write speed would matter that much for the audience that these boards target. Okay, I mean, just like you don't notice the difference using your SATA versus your NVMe for your games. A lot of guys are still buying, you know, SATA drives because it's more cost effective, right? So Gen 3 NVMe's right now are really cost effective. Like 1 TB is $90, $100. You can put 2 here. You get, you know, that's, you know, it's a smart choice. Even though it's not Gen 4, it's a smart choice, and that's what I'm trying to say here. So to just quickly wrap this up, very similar power delivery. Without going into the specs, and I may be wrong. If I'm wrong, don't get too mad. I believe this is a little bit better than here. Okay, and if we look at the heat sinks, I have to test them, but visually speaking, the heatsink is a lot beefier on here than here. In terms of structural rigidity, this has a back plate, so we know who won, right? And in terms of overall layout, you can see they're very similar. You get the same RGB stuff, you get the same everything. And BIOS aside, okay, I keep saying BIOS aside. Speaking of BIOS, whoever, if you're watching this video and you're from Aorus and you're part of the Aorus BIOS team, please get your shit together. Get your shit together, okay? Get your software together. I heard a lot of complaints about RGB, gigabyte RGB fusion. I personally never had a problem, but please get your shit together, guys. Your website is trash. It is trash. Do you know how hard it is for me to find? This is the. I'll give you an example. I've gone through 3 Z490 Extremes. Okay, not warranty, as in I bought 3 of them, and every single one of them has taken an L. And I'm on my third one, which is now taking L's in USB ports. And if I go to download the latest BIOS for the Z490 Extreme, I think a month ago, I went to check to see if there's a BIOS update. There was a new BIOS that came out this year, late sometime this year. It wasn't available on the Extreme site, but it was available on the Waterforce page. They're the exact same boards, just one has a block. And it's like, fix your damn website, guys. It has like that 2005 look. Fix your website, fix your damn BIOS, because you are so close to, improving your packaging on the Extreme. The hardware is there. Simple things like this, with the stay on screws. Don't give me like 5 different types of screws to take off a heatsink, okay? This is the kind of stuff I'm talking about, right? This little attention to detail. You guys have the build, you have the components, you kind of got the aesthetic down. Like, it's distinctly Aorus, and you can see. I mean, we don't need this big Aorus, but this is still better than a huge ass RAW guy that just repeats everywhere. I don't understand how I don't know how many eyes you need now. I liked it when it was minimal here with the Hero, and I had the eye here. And I got the eye here, and I get this whole kind of like red light district ROG thing going, and it's not necessary. I mean, I don't get paid per RAW guy, and nobody does. All right, so Aorus, please get your stuff together and rethink some of this, placement of the USB 3s. Nobody wants this. 2 USB 3s next to each other. Nobody wants that. And stuff like on the Extremes with the dumb dongles to adapt to everything, get rid of that, please. Nobody wants a dongle for a front panel connector. It's garbage, right? Do you know how much of a wiring mess that is to have a dongle for a front panel connector? So stuff like that, but other than that, this is it, guys. I would say if you're choosing between these two, if you're not in a rush, give it a little bit, see what feedback you can get on the BIOS for this, and then pick this up. Save the 150, use it on something else, and pick this up, because this is a better buy than this, assuming the BIOS isn't a piece of trash. I'll know soon, because I'm going to put this in. I'm going to see if voltage control actually works, and I'll see if the board is stable, and I'll see if it crashes. Does it reset everything? Do I lose my BIOS? Because, with Aorus boards, sometimes you crash, all your BIOS settings are gone, period. Even though there's 2 chips, the other chip is garbage, stuff like that. So, yeah, you can see I'm probably, I'm not exactly Team Aorus. But, yeah, so that pretty much wraps it up. Thanks for watching, and I'll have more Intel stuff up soon. I have some, like I said earlier, have some real life stuff going on. For those of the guys that don't know, I might as well throw it out there. I actually work in the kind of IT security cloud space in real life. So I have my CISSP exam coming up next week. So I'll be focused on that. And once I wrap that up, I'll be back to messing with all my regular stuff. So thanks for watching, and take care. And also, if you don't have to upgrade, don't upgrade. Because technically right now, DDR5 is extremely hard to find. And there's no reason to upgrade to Z690 right now. If you have Ryzen 5000 series, don't even bother. Okay?